Welcome once again to another episode of American Hometown, the Quarantine Edition. We are doing our show from our home. Why not, right? I saw Mike Rowe doing this. I'm always going to give him credit because he's the one that inspired me. Before we get started, though, I want to ask everyone to please go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the little notification button down in the corner. You'll want to make sure that you get alerts and notifications from us, because eventually, when we are allowed back out of our houses, we will be doing this show the right way. We will be producing a show. But in the meantime, what I'm doing is I'm reaching out to the businesses that have already agreed to do this show with us and just giving them the opportunity to reach out to their customers, to their friends, whomever, and tell them what's going on and how they could be helped. With me today, I have Cindy Ross and Howard Gunn of Gateway Ghost Tours.
Yay! How are you today?
Doing well. Where we started out, we actually, Gateway Ghost Tours, they were the first ones that we started filming with. And then everything kind of went upside down. We were going to go back and film some more and get some footage of their actual tour. And all of this happened. So we had a lot of fun doing that. I got to tell you, my son was a little intimidated about holding dowsing rods, but I don't know if it was me doing it or doing it the wrong way and showing him that that's okay too. I don't know what it was, but he got over it and he really had a lot of fun too. Oh, we got to meet Clyde.
Oh, you're talking about the Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have those spirits frequently pop up with us along the tour.
Or it was something that was pretending like it was Clyde.
We won't get into that. We have lots of entities, though.
And Howard, you're the paranormal expert.
Yeah, that's right.
And I just got to ask, where do you go to school to become a paranormal expert?
All the places which might be haunted.
Oh.
And see if the books that you've found and read coordinate with what you've seen or heard or whatever. So I've been in at least 2 hospitals, working hospitals, that have had a couple of strange incidents. And as far as reading goes, I started reading supernatural, paranormal stuff. When I was 13, 14, something like that. So you basically pick up what you can from the library or from the shop. You see something interesting. Thing is, you don't know what's real and what isn't. So also go out and go to a group, join them, or pay and go out with them and see what they say is normal, natural, and just a lot of experience.
So there's no school except for real life.
Pretty well. Oh, I'll probably get a lot of complaints. What about our school? There may be schools out there, but the best in this case is not a school, because they're very confined and they're very narrow. This is the way it is. This is the way you do it. If you go out and find your way, much better, because it really is an individual experience. Every experience is an individual experience.
So it's not like in Ghostbusters where they have like a university that's dedicated to this kind of stuff.
I don't know. I can't say that definitely.
Okay. All right.
There might be.
All right. Well, Cindy, I'm just curious, what's going on with you during this? What are you up to?
Oh, I'm doing lots of sewing. I'm a very creative person besides the psychic in me. So I'm sewing face masks for all who need it. I've been sewing since probably 10 or 11. So lots of free time to do that.
Okay. All right. I saw that you're doing some gardening too.
Oh, yeah, that's one of my biggest passions is to garden. So when times of stress, get out and play in the dirt. It really helps to ground you, and it's very pleasing. It's very calming to put it that way. So yeah, I keep digging up the backyard. By the time we're finished with this, I'll have it all done.
Yeah, it definitely is a good idea to, if you can, get out and get some sunlight, because the four walls can close in fast.
Oh, they can. So we're going to have pickles. We're going to have okra. We're going to have zucchini. Working on black-eyed peas right now too. So.
And Howard, what are you keeping yourself busy with?
I'm doing a bit of swatting on the tour. Seem to be glad to hear that. And basically, not much is in the ghost tour area. Just watching telly, staying inside, keeping away from people. Anything I can do to keep myself amused. Fortunately, my wife is at home at the moment, so we keep each other company. And that's about it. Not a lot outside home duties at all.
So what kind of binge watching do you have recommended?
Anything my wife wants to watch.
His wife.
So no Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures.
Oh, we'll do a lot of that. Yeah, we have a laugh. Because she's very interested in ghost watching as well.
Okay, all right. Well, that's good that you guys share that common interest. My wife has no interest in pursuing that, and she had no interest in going out with me. She, in fact, was saying, make sure I don't bring anything back with me.
Oh, no.
I told her it wasn't like the haunted house ride at Disney World, where at the end. No. Cindy, when we talked about doing this, you had mentioned that you're getting some calls from people. I don't know if you're getting more calls from people than you normally do about getting special readings. But is that still going on?
It is. I'm concerned, in what it is that I do, being an intuitive, being able to tap into different energies. They all want to know what's going on. And working as a psychic, that's the number one question. Can you tell me what's going on? When is this going to be over? We don't have all the answers. We can definitely help, removing the fear and the anxiety. And I think that's what's come through with a lot of my readings right now. It helps to relieve that fear and let people know you're okay. You're going to make it through this.
Do you have any recommendations for people on what they can do to remove that fear?
Well, you look at what's happened to us. We are, closed in. We're put in with our family and our loved ones. Normally, we don't spend this much time with each other. We're coming and going, and everybody's got their own thing to do. But someone like me, you kind of stop and you look around and you ask, well, why is this going on? Well, for whatever reason, we need to put the focus back on ourselves. We need to put the focus back on our health and our well-being. That's most important. That's the cause of all this fear right now. We fear we're going to lose our health. We fear we're going to lose our life. So many people are dealing with the loss of a job right now. And we've had the rug yanked right out from underneath us. So for me, it's putting these people back in focus. Okay, look at what you have. You have a roof over your head. You have groceries. In fact, being in Texas, I think we are better off than most everybody else in the U.S. We're here in the South. We are not experiencing what they're experiencing in New York and, the West Coast. And I think that is going to be our saving grace right here. Texas caught on and decided, we're going to change things. We are not going to have the outcome that they've had in New York. And so that's why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's different. It's an experience. It's an experience that we will get through. And I'm already looking at, well, a year from now, 2 years from now, how are we going to be celebrating what we had to endure? I mean, are we going to go stock up at the grocery store for 2 weeks and cram our refrigerators and freezers full and then just stay indoors for 2 weeks? I don't think so. Maybe 2 days at the most.
Right.
Life goes on. This is not the end of life. This is not the apocalypse. It's a way to put the focus back on what's most important to you. Friends, family, health, well-being.
So it won't be one of those kinds of celebrations where everybody runs out to the store and grabs as many rolls of toilet paper as they can. Or maybe it will be. Who knows how we commemorate this, right?
I see that in the future on down the road. Can you imagine? I have never in my entire life gone to the store and seen the meat counter empty. I mean, just empty. I wasn't the only one just standing there and looking at everybody else, and they're all going, is this real? Can you believe this? It's like, well, no.
Could you imagine? I mean, as a kid, I used to go, telling myself, I was one of those kids that used to do the TP in the neighbor's front yard too, and shame on me. But hey, you know what? We might bring that trend back. That could be how we decorate our houses outside.
Yeah, we may do our Christmas trees with it. Who knows?
Who knows, right? Right.
But there will be a point where we celebrate this occasion.
Yeah,
but not till
not till Christmas, right? I think too. You hit on something that I think is important to remember. Focusing on what's happening now and kind of looking at the gift that we've been given in all of this, to have time with the family that we didn't have otherwise. I mean, I think about how you hear all the people saying, if I only had time to. Someone I was talking with earlier today, they're taking this time to look at their product line and look at doing some renovations to their place. So they're using this as an opportunity to not only look at the here and now, but look at what's ahead, what's coming around the corner, and that what's coming around the corner is that we will get out of this. We will get through this. Maybe walk around and sneeze out loud without people looking at us cross-eyed.
You have it, and it's I have allergies.
Right. Yeah, I had to do that the other day. I was walking to the store and I sneezed, and somebody, turned around and looked at me. I'm like, it's allergy season. Just pump the brakes. So I know that the structure of your business is to do tours and to be more personal and in a more intimate type of setting. So the social distancing it must have had an impact on.
Oh, it had a big impact. We started with the Friday the 13th tour, and that's when all started going down. And, people are afraid. So our business is not going to really pick up until the social distancing is let up, because we do one-on-one tours. We lead groups out there, and this is all hands-on.
Yeah.
Virtually doing the psychic business, not so much.
Yeah.
But we do have a lot of things in the works. We have some specialty tours coming up. And I really feel by the time summer rolls around, we'll be in full operation. And more than likely, since we've been cooped up so much, we're probably going to have an increase in an upswing in business, because people are just climbing the walls right now. So, Howard, I'm sorry, but you may be doing more than one tour on the weekend.
Fine, that's fine.
I'm sure that's a nice problem to have.
Yeah, I'm not going to complain. It'll make up for our business. But we have, our business and what I do and what Howard does, to us, it's very enjoyable. It's very pleasing. It's never the same. Every time we get out there on a tour, you don't know what to expect, because we're dealing with entities and spirits that aren't supposed to be here. So they show up sometimes in droves, and sometimes we just get one or two. So.
Yeah. So is there something that anyone out there that's watching, that's normally a customer, someone who follows you, is there something that you would ask of them that would be helpful to either of you guys during this?
Oh, well, just to stay tuned to our page and to our Instagram account, social media. I am putting things out there, not quite as much as we normally do, but I really think what I'm going to start doing is opening up the door to the different places that we visit on our tours, and just give people a taste of what it's like, that what Howard and I get to deal with.
Yeah.
And it's always different. You just don't know who or what's going to show up next.
Right. Well, Howard, have you given any thought to maybe using this time, using some of the technological resources available to maybe do some tutorials on the tools that you use, the tools of the trade?
Well, I'm looking at EMF. I may have mentioned last time that I had a theory that didn't work. So I'll just keep working on another theory. I'll pass on. It was to do with the EMF and its relationship to EMF of gravity, which is exactly the same as EMF of electricity, and how the two were linked. But all I can find are books saying they're exactly the same, but they're not. So I think I'll pass on that one and see if I can find another topic that I'm interested in finding out about. But yeah, I do a bit of reading and that sort of thing. I have a science background. I like to research. I understand more than the average person, perhaps, in some areas. So I won't say that I'm wonderful and super and all that, but I do like to read. Well, thank you, boss.
Well, I mean, just telling me about your theory there, it was impressive. I think I caught maybe half of it. So, not that I wasn't paying attention, but it.
The EMF thing.
The difference between the difference between gravity and electricity, and I wouldn't even know where to begin with that.
There is no difference as far as EMF goes. Science accepts it. It's the same, even though it's produced by different particles, because now we have a gravity particle. So they're different particles. The EMF is actually the lines of force around your particular, let's call it electrical wire. It could be electrical, anything that has an electric base to its energy it produces EMF, and so does gravity. Because gravity waves, EMF. I'm still not sure why they call the same, but they do. Every time I get down to a certain page, there it is. They're both the same.
So, Cindy, one last thing. We had talked at one point about you maybe doing something sort of an online.
Well, we have a lot of people stuck at home, so a lot of people are bored. So they're taking a look at themselves. We have this free time, so I'm getting calls and messages, for not only readings, but I also do healings. But they want to know, how do I see this? How do I get this? How can they get things like I do, or like a true psychic does? So doing classes, I do a number of classes. I've been teaching for quite a number of years. I used to work in a little metaphysical shop. So lots of classes and readings and experience in that. So for quite a number of people, they've been asking, all right, how can I learn this? How can I move forward in my own psychic abilities? So kind of fun doing psychic development classes, and I do angel classes, and there's so many different things. I was ready to start an oracle class, which I was going to do in combination with LaRue Winery. And so I'm having to restructure things and do them for online. So
Cool. Very cool. One last request, since you're the intuitive.
uh-huh.
I'm not going to ask you to tell us when all of this is going to be over. I know that's a common question, but what do you feel is on the horizon for us?
I think, and I really feel, Zach, that this is all a change for the better. We are learning so many different things. We are learning how to make do. We're learning to get by on what we have. And we just know that we are going to continue with our existence. It's a lot of things, a lot of new technology, definitely on the health end is definitely coming up for this. But at the same time, this going within and being in our own space, and look at all that we're doing. Look at what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't have thought about doing this a month ago.
Nope.
You know, so that technology is rapidly being developed and we're all catching on. And it's like, well, you know, I've got people contacting me. I've got a new podcast coming up. Can you join me? You know, so we're using the time and space that we have right now to develop our own self socially, but on an inward basis instead of outward. So look at what the schools are doing. You know, they're really catching on the bandwagon. They've got to teach kids. How do they do that? So this is going to be, I think, as far as technology goes, you're going to see a lot more developments on the inside instead of the outside.
Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for participating in this little experiment of mine. And to everyone, once again, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Well, thanks, Zach. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been fun, Zach. Thanks very much.
Yeah. Thank you guys and have a great day.